we've been in this house almost 2 months now, and I love it. 5 acres and a lovely home. It's a great place to raise my kids. But then I met the neighbor across the road. It turns out his daughter lives to our left, nephew to our right, sister 2 houses one way, brother 3 houses the other way. It's not uncommon, but still interesting to learn. The guy's 82, but looks and acts like he's 60. And he is also the most racist, sexist person that I've ever met. He told us our yard is to be mowed every 5 days. This is farmland. There is no HOA, and my yard is hayfield. We are baling. He also said that I'm not to address him directly, but to have my husband call or go through his wife if we need anything. He said I should grow my hair out as to look more motherly. I just smiled and nodded, attributing his attitude to age. Days later, there's a knock on the door. A gentleman introduces himself as a neighbor diagonally across the street. He hands me a Bible, says everyone on the street's attending a certain church. His smile is all teeth. Everything about him screams sleazeball. He turns, still grinning, to walk down my porch steps, saying, "See you there Sunday," before I can answer. Saturday comes around and my husband is outside when a car pulls up. First, the neighbor's wife walks right into my house like she owns the place, gasps at the Halloween decorations, and asks to speak to the woman of the house privately outside. "Yeah, outside sounds like a great idea," I snapped, more than a little agitated. Again, I consider age. Among the topics were, you need to mow the yard. My husband is going to tell yours that you've been driving and walking out of the yard to get the mail. You need to take down those skeletons, they're vulgar. I will be babysitting your infant son twice a week for 5 hours, since he is the first. And I shit you not, her exact words, fresh blood in the area in a long time. At this point, my mama bear becomes way stronger than my southern manners, so I stand up and tell her to leave. She seems unfazed though, telling me that I need to be more ladylike, so I tell her, "Listen lady, you leave or I'll call the cops." She huffs and leaves. She or her husband have parked in the road and stared down my house twice now. The church fellow has left us handwritten letters in our mail every week since the first Sunday. They say that we missed you at church this Sunday. You need to get there this week. I already went to the bumfuck, backwoods, useless cops for whatever good it did me. I feel like I've moved into the Wrong Turn movies. This place is creepy. This happened way back in 2013. I was 17 years old then. Because of my parents' constant arguments, my parents decided to go their separate ways prior to this, so we ended up living with my mum. I had a younger brother and an older sister, and we lived in a neighborhood where it was not necessary to lock your front gate, nor close your front door, since everyone pretty much knows everyone. It was early in the evening, about 6 p.m. Mum usually gets home by 8 p.m. Now, it's important to note that we didn't lock the front gate, although it is closed, and our front door is wide open. We do this all the time so the breeze would come in, and we don't worry about it because we have a screen door anyway, but that's unlocked too. My brother and I were just watching TV when suddenly we heard our gate slam open. It was made of metal with this huge chain dangling on it, so it was easy to hear. I immediately jumped out of the couch and stood in front of the screen door to see who came in and slammed the gate that loud. It takes about 8 to 10 steps to get to our front door from the gate, and I swear on that split second where I jumped from the couch toward the screen door, the man was already in front of it, only the screen door between us. He looked about 30 to 40 years old, only wearing a white and very dirty tank top. It was ripped in some areas, and it looked like he rolled around in the mud or something. He had a beard, was carrying a bloody cellophane, his hand was bloody, and he had that crazy look in his eyes. He was also panting, like he ran all the way to a house. I was terrified, and my hand is already on the screen door's handle. I was holding it closed. I knew right then and there that he is not supposed to be at our house at all. I didn't want him to see me lock it, since that might provoke him, so I didn't say anything. I just freaking froze in front of him. So he said, "Hey, I'm a friend of your dad, and he ordered this, and he wanted me to bring it over." He then lifted the bloody cellophane so that I could see it from eye level, and there was meat inside. I have no idea what meat it is, except that it smells real bad. "It's just 120 pesos, 2 kilos, he added. That's about $2.36 if converted. I can feel my hands shaking at this point. Obviously, I didn't believe a single word that he said, so I told him, No, we're okay. I'll tell my dad that we don't want to buy it. Thanks." And I locked the door, and I still held it close since it's just a barrel bolt lock, and I knew that if he even just tries to jiggle the handle, the barrel lock would move and it would be open in a jiffy. He didn't say anything anymore and just kind of looked to the side, where our front gate and sidewalk is, and then he looked back at me. I saw him put the cellophane down on the floor and calmly walk back to our gate, and then he ran away. As soon as he was gone, our neighbor, he's just a few years older than me, he approached me and asked who that was, and I told him that I had no idea. We looked at the meat, and it was soaked with blood, dark blood, and we were both terrified since it's already dark and we just both want to be inside in the safety of our homes. He offered to throw the meat away for me, and I ended up cleaning the blood from our front step, from where he left the cellophane. I called my mum and told her what happened, and she told us to immediately lock the gate and to close both doors until she gets home. We told our dad about it too, and he said that he would never order something from some crazy guy like that. The whole neighborhood soon knew about it too, and from then on, we always made sure our gates and homes were closed. We asked around, and they said it was actually just a man who was probably high on cocaine or turned crazy and was seen a few times around the area. They said that he had a family and they abandoned him for having an unstable mind, and he was seen wandering around ever since. Up until now, I still don't know what kind of meat that was, or where he got it from. My sister and neighbor told me that it was probably a stray dog or cat, but they just tell me this to reassure me that it wasn't human meat, I know. Not like it made me feel any better anyway, that it was a dog or a cat too, and it took me a long time to get over that incident. I didn't ask my mum about it again, and my mum told me not to worry about it, and that she'll make sure that it'll never happen again, and I just tried blocking it out of my mind ever since. But after hearing so many stories of unstable people coming to the front doors of homes, I often get really creeped out in thinking about what could have happened if I didn't hold that door that day. So, in spring of 2016, my boyfriend and I moved into a buddy of his temporarily. His buddy had told him that the house was haunted and extremely active. My boyfriend didn't tell me that, as he didn't want to scare me. So one night, I had just gotten home from work, and it was just his friend and I home. My boyfriend had gone out for the night, and I showered and went to my room and got ready for bed. It was about 10 p.m. We had no bed, just an air mattress, and it had a slow leak, so you could feel when someone lays down, as my side of the bed would go up. I'm getting chills just typing this. But anyways, I turned off the lights and put on a movie and slowly fell asleep. I kept waking up though because I felt like I was being watched, specifically from the closet. But I didn't think much of it and tried to get some sleep, as I've always been scared of the monster in the closet type of thing, so I just ignored it. I checked the time and it was 2:30 a.m. By that time, my TV was still on, so I just left it, and I was half asleep when I heard the door open, and clearly it opened. I heard the creak, and the door wasn't on right, so it dragged on the floor. I heard shuffling of feet like someone was walking in. I heard a jacket fall to the ground. Thinking it was my boyfriend that had just gotten home and was coming to bed, I kept my eyes closed. I then heard the footsteps reach the air mattress and my side of the bed went up. And then I felt an arm reach over and cuddle me, so to speak. I turned over and cuddled up to what I thought was my boyfriend, and I laid there for a while, and then I said, "I'm so happy you're home," and opened my eyes to look at him. When I opened my eyes, there was nothing. There was no one there. I jumped up and turned on the light. By then, I was trembling, and my heart was racing. I was so scared. I later found out that multiple people, they had been murdered in that house before the previous tenants moved in, and that it was normal for someone to go lay down with you if you were sleeping alone. But nonetheless, I would never want that to happen to me again.